Right, okay, so I did say that I'd do a bit more of a review on this Kemper Kabinet thing once I got a proper power amp for this. So I've gone for the cheap option, Harley Benton GPA 100. The thing that's cool about this is that for lower volumes you've got a big bass boost that you can chuck on, which is what I'm doing right now. Obviously if you've got the cab off of the floor in this way, and you know how it is like this at lower volumes, you might want to use that bass boost. You've also got one in the actual output itself. Where is that? Over here in the top right hand corner. I'm going to guess that as volumes go up, you're going to probably want to reduce that to avoid like cabinet rattle and stuff, but at this kind of volume it works quite nicely. So I'm not using any special profiles, this is just one profile that I made of the Mezzabugi Electrodyne, one of the very first profiles I made, and I really like the way that's sounding. And nothing has really changed from the way I was running things before, so essentially I've got this on the Celestian Blue setting at the moment. You could experiment with trying different speaker combinations and stuff, but I find like for a session, like if you were going to go and gig with this, you're probably going to want to keep that consistent, so keep the same kind of speaker sound coming out of here. I'm not using FR mode or anything like that, so yeah, I'm letting the Kemper cone do the kind of speakerness. The V30 also sounds really cool. Yeah, that's about all. I've got the bass boost on. Really simple to set up, which is nice. I've got that directivity all the way down to 0. As you turn it up, it kind of starts to behave a little bit less like a guitar speaker, so I guess that's taming some of the high-end frequency. It will mean that if you're off axis from the Kemper Kabinet that you're going to get less of that high-end coming through, but to me that's what I'm used to with a real guitar amp anyway, so that's probably, I'm favouring going towards the real kind of sound as much as you can with a Kemper, if that makes sense. And yeah, I really like the way it sounds. Delay and reverb there, but I'm really digging the way it sounds. I've had some people ask me how would this compare to a Powercab or some of the other FR kind of solutions. To me, it doesn't really make any sense to think about the Kemper Kabinet outside of the Kemper universe, because all of the brains of the Kemper Kabinet are actually in here. So, you know, to control it and to get it to do the speaker imprints and those bits and pieces, you need a Kemper anyway. So this would be kind of useless with an FM3, useless with Helix, I think. But for the Kemper, there's really no better choice in my opinion. Similarly with the Helix, if you're looking for this FR stuff, to me I think it makes quite a lot of sense to go with the thing that can speak to your unit. So a Powercab and a Helix have a connection via Line 6 link, so that makes perfect sense. The manual recommends going with a solid state power amplifier rather than a tube. Apparently that's going to colour the tone less, so that's what I've gone for there. I think Orange Pedal Baby was one of the things that got brought up the most as being appropriate for this particular job. This Harley Benton GPA 100 seems to be doing the job just fine. I'll leave a link for that in the YouTube description if you want to check that out. I think I'll put like an affiliate link there if you want to use that, and I'll get a small amount of money from that in theory. But yeah, I really like the sound of it. I need to still try this out live, but in this bedroom, this is like slightly above kind of talking volume. It's definitely doing that thing, it's making that kind of tone come to life in the room in a way that just the speakers wouldn't, and it's definitely getting me one step closer back to, you know, that feeling of playing an amp in the room, particularly given that you've got plenty of volume. And it's starting to vibrate things in the room and stuff like that, all of the stuff that I kind of associate with a real amp. So I think this is definitely the way to go if you're struggling with your Kemper and you're thinking, I sort of miss some of that real ampness. Whether you need this out live or not, I guess is up to you and depending on your own uses, but it definitely does a really cool job. I wasn't necessarily super impressed when I saw Kemper announcing it, but I can now see that as like an all-in-one Kemper universe thing, to have the head, the cabinet, the remote, makes all the sense in the world, and there's not really, I don't think, an FR thing that can compete with that for this specific job, and I guess that's the whole point of having like proprietary gear anyway. So hopefully that's vaguely interesting to one or two people. I'm just using my own profiles here, there's nothing special, but you can grab them in the folder if you want to. Use the PayPal link thingy. Feel free to like and subscribe. If you've got any suggestions for stuff you want me to try out with the Kemper, feel free to leave a comment. I'll catch you in a bit. Cheers!